right, all right. Good morning, Upper Darby School District. What's going on? What's going on? Come on, y'all can do better than that. Let's go, let's go. Good morning. It is so good to see your beautiful faces this morning. I am Mr. Lashley. I am the supervisor of art, music, and theater. And then I'm going to pass it over to my magnificent, extraordinary co-host. I'm going to let her introduce herself, though.
Good morning, Upper Darby family. How are you? My name's Kamisha Simpson. I'm the supervisor of human resources, and we are so excited to have you in the building today to kick off the second annual Juneteenth celebration.
So to start us off in true fashion, I'm going to pass it off to the Mr. Mark Geis and the Royal Blues Jazz Band to open us up with a real quick, short little rendition. Thanks so much. Come on now, Royal Blues. Y'all better do your thing, Royal Blues. All right. Thank you so much. The Royal Blues is going to be our house band for today. So in between every performance, they're going to give you a little, snippet of what they're doing. So again, we love and appreciate you, Royal Blues, for being our host today. All right, thank you so much. So at this time, we will have the encore singers from Upper Darby High School perform the Black National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing. If you can please stand at this time. Lift every voice and sing till the heaven ring. Bring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise as the listening skies. Let it resound as the Lord sings. Sing a song full of the pain that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun, let us touch on till victory is won. Slowly the rolling shot, with the chasing God, built in the days when hope unborn had died. Yet with the steady beat and the weary feet, come to the place for which our parents sighed. We have come, the world awake and the tears have been watered. We have come, treading a path through the blood of the slaughtered. Out from the gloomy past, till now we stand at last, where the white gleam of our bright stars cast. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, thou who hast by thy might led us into the light, keep us forever in the path we pray. Bless our feet straight from the places of God where we met thee. Bless our hearts drunk with the wine of the world we forget thee. Shadowed beneath thy hand, may we forever stand, true to our God, true to our native land.
If you can remain standing, we're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance from the K Center. So if we can remain standing.
All right, you may be seated. Now, it's with my extreme pleasure to welcome up our fearless leader, Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Daniel McGarry.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our second annual Juneteenth celebration. I want to first recognize the hard work that goes into today's event. Over 2 years ago, we met as a central administrative team, and we recognized that our job, not that day, we recognized, we've known it for a long time, but our job here in the school district is to make sure that we provide our students and our community the very best educational opportunities that we can. And over this period of time, we recognize that we celebrate a lot of the history of the United States of America. But today, we realize that over the course of history, important events sometimes have not received the amount of time and attention and detail and care as they should have been. So about 2 years ago, we met as a central administrative team, and we set out to make sure that while we had students in our care, we provided you the best education, the most historical context to the foundation and the freedoms of the United States of America. That's important, right? That's important that we make sure that you understand the underpinnings of this country. June 19th, 1865, and this will come up a little bit later. I'm sure that you'll have some quizzes so I'm giving you a little hint to some quizzes that might take place today. We're here to educate you. Today's assembly is about the history of this country, educating you on that history. On June 19th, 1865, in Galveston, Texas, a very important historical moment took place regarding the freedom of all people in the United States of America. It started to be celebrated in 1866. So that's important. 1865, freedom in Galveston, Texas, started to be celebrated in 1866. If you have pens, you might want to write that down. Those of you who are live streaming, maybe your teachers will bring this up to you as well from a historical standpoint. We're celebrating it today, right, in our school districts and not on June 19th because we don't have you in school. And we feel it's important that we provide you this educational historical context so that you have it and pass it on from one generation to the next. It's also important that you see this morning Mr. Mark Geist, Mr. Bayshore, the students, the talent, that at some point as a young person in the audience, you want to be on this very stage, celebrating who you are, the inclusion, the diversity, the celebration of the arts. Because when Juneteenth first started to get celebrated through the South and throughout the country, it was celebrated through writing, art, music. And it passed its way all the way through the country here in America. And today, that's why we'll celebrate through art, writings, music. And you'll hear that weave its way through the presentation this morning. I want to say thank you for being here with us. Thank you to the staff and our teachers, our equity and inclusion teams throughout the school district. More importantly, I want to recognize Ms. Kamisha Simpson, who could come forward, Mr. Christopher Lashley, come on out to the front. Let's give them, come on out. Planning for today's event is no easy feat. It takes hours and hours of planning and preparation to make sure that we provide you our very best. So Mr. Lashley, Ms. Simpson, thank you very much for all that you do. We hope that you enjoy this morning's festivities. We do have the pleasure of two board members who were able to give up their time this morning. Dr. Haig and Mr. Desnoyers, please stand. Our board president was called into an emergency work situation this morning. Board President Ed Brown, who very much appreciates this day, could not be here with us this morning. So he sends his best and his appreciation for all the hard work that goes into the school district. Without further ado, I'm going to turn this over to our Assistant Superintendent for Equity and Human Resources, Dr. John Council. Dr. Council.
Thank you so much, Dr. McGarry, and good morning, everyone. To all of our parents, thank you so much for joining us this morning. To our students, again, I say good morning to you. I just want to take a moment to echo Dr. McGarry's appreciation to everyone who had a hand or who used their time to help put this event together. I would say thank you so much for having us here and putting together this wonderful event. I also want to take a moment to thank our teachers who's leveraging technology right now in our live stream and giving our students, more students, an opportunity to participate in this event this morning. So I say thank you to them as well. What we do know is that as we come closer to June 19th, people throughout the nation will celebrate, they recognize and appreciate Juneteenth, what's also known as Freedom Day. We have the opportunity right here in the Upper Darby School District to experience, to celebrate a rich cultural experience right here today. So as we go through this day, I ask that you recognize two things. Recognize, number one, the excellence that's in front of you up here on stage today. I also want you to recognize the opportunity that you have as a student, as a teacher, as an administrator, to build a culture of excellence, a culture where every student in your school can thrive. Not just thrive, but also to enjoy the democracy that have been extended to each and every one of you. So again, I ask that as you think about Juneteenth, that you think about it, that you purpose in your heart to recognize it not just on Juneteenth, but today and every day. Have an awesome day today. Thank you so much for having me here today. Thank you. At this time, I'll turn the microphone and the stage back over to Ms. Simpson and Mr. Lashley. Give them a hand as they come. Give them a hand.
At this time, we're going to have a performance from Dende from Musicopia. He's going to provide us with an exceptional experience to just highlight the infusion of African culture, not just in America, but throughout the world. Thank you, Dende. We look forward to having his return on stage just a little bit later. He did a fantastic job once again highlighting the global impact of African culture all throughout the Caribbean and Latin America.
Thank you so much, Ms. Simpson. So, we had a chance to go around the school district and capture some different faces and explanations of what Juneteenth is. When I tell you this video should bring a tear to your eye, because we had a chance from last year to this year to be able to really lay the foundation to what Juneteenth really is. And it wasn't us, it wasn't the adults doing it, it wasn't us, it was all of you. We had a chance for your peers to be able to represent and to share what they've learned from last year to this year. So at this time, did you know?
My name's Gianna.
I'm Christian.
My name's Louise Ford.
I'm Miss Rashida.
And I teach 3rd grade.
4th grade. I'm in grade 5.
I'm in 6th grade.
And I'm in 7th grade. And I'm the assistant principal at Garrettford Elementary School.
Assistant principal at Highland Park School.
Assistant principal at Aronimink.
And I go to Drexel Hill Middle School. Some things about Juneteenth that I know.
Juneteenth is a day of justice and freedom for all African Americans and Black Americans.
Juneteenth is our Freedom Day.
Juneteenth is about celebrating people of color getting free from slavery and just having equal rights.
It's like the anniversary of when African Americans got free from slavery.
Well, it's not really the day, but it's the day that they got notified that they were being freed.
Originally, the date was 2 years prior, where most of the slaves were freed. But unfortunately, the slaves in Texas were known 2 years post that date.
Today we celebrate that freedom now and honor all the work that people put in to make that happen and honor the culture and, you know, where that came from.
It's a really good holiday.
Juneteenth is something of a gathering with all your family or having a picnic.
With my family, like I have like a cookout and stuff.
My parents make food, they make barbecue.
You know, soul food, barbecue food.
Picnics with barbecue, I love barbecue.
And we eat together as a whole family.
One of the ways that I celebrate is by going to different parades, learning more about Black history and Black culture.
We just talk about it a lot in class and at home.
We'll like read about the history a lot. And we talk about how it was important.
It's really nice to see when you walk into a classroom, students acknowledge this holiday. They know what it means. They're able to speak about it. And I'm happy to see that it's getting to be more widely celebrated. And I'm happy to see that our students are doing their research and learning more about it.
Other people celebrate it, not just Black people, but other different races. And that's all I know about Juneteenth.
Thank you so much, Mr. Labandi and our Senko superstars. You did a phenomenal job singing Rise Up. As we transition, we're going to have the jazz band play at this time. Take it away.
All right, thank you so much to the Beverly Hills Middle School Choir. Give them another round of applause. You sang so beautifully. So at this time, we're gonna welcome up the Drexel Hill Middle School Jazz Ensemble. So give them a couple seconds. But let's give them a pre-round of applause, because we know we're gonna kill it, right? They're gonna do a good job, right? That's what I'm talking about. And they are under the tutelage of Mr. Jason Merzak. Give it up for Drexel Hill. Wow. To hear such competent jazz musicians at the middle school level. I gotta say that again for the adults, at the middle school level. Shout out to you, Jason, and your group, brother. Wonderful job, y'all, wonderful job. All right, at this time, we're gonna ask for our poetry portion to begin. So at this time, we're gonna ask Hillcrest. Hillcrest is gonna come up first. If Hillcrest could come up first, then we're gonna start with the poetry reading.
Hi, my name's Elissa, and I'm reading Won't You Celebrate With Me by Lucille Clifton. Won't you celebrate with me? What I've shaped into a kind of life. I had no model, both non-white and woman. What did I see to be except myself? I made it up. Here on this bridge between starshine and clay, my one hand holding tight to my other hand, come celebrate with me. That every day something has tried to stop me and has failed.
Today we will be celebrating 3 historical figures that have contributed to all the freedom and civil rights for all people. I will be honoring Martin Luther King Jr. and John Lewis. Sophia will be honoring Harriet Tubman. This is our celebration of freedom. An acrostic poem on John Lewis. Justice. Outrageous, heroic, nationwide savior, let his mind go free, encouraged us, with us he fought, in you he understood. Selma. Freedom, freedom. Freedom, freedom, let it ring, said Dr. King. Let us live in harmony, peace and love for you and me. Freedom, freedom, let it ring, said Dr. King.
The Underground Railroad. Don't make a sound, not a single sound, because it's time to go underground, underground. Underground Railroad is what I mean, in complete secrecy and unseen. From the South, blacks wanted to be free, traveling at night so secretly, hiding in a thick forest or on a farm, trying to stay safe and away from harm, demonstrating courage and staying strong, enduring hard times an hour so long, with help from others along the way, searching for freedom and a better way. Heading north to escape slavery, often leaving their own loving family, making America a better place, on the Underground Railroad with dreams to chase.
Thank you so much. Aronimink Elementary School, at this time, we have our presenter from Stonehurst Hills Elementary School.
Fight on, little children, fight on. You know what you're doing is right. Don't stop, keep straight ahead. You're just bound to win the fight. Many hardships there will be, many trials you'll have to face. But go on, children, keep fighting. Soon freedom will take hardships' place. Sometimes it's going to be hard, sometimes the light will look dim. But keep it up, don't get discouraged. Keep fighting, though chances seem slim. In the end, you and I know that one day the facts still face. And realize we're human too, that freedom taken slavery's place.
Good morning. Today we will be sharing the important things about Juneteenth. Based on Margaret Wise Brown's book, The Important Book. The important thing about Juneteenth is all the slaves were finally free. It is true that Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation on January 1st, 1863.
It is also true that under the Emancipation Proclamation, not everyone knew they were free. But the important thing about Juneteenth is
all the slaves were finally free.
It is true that on December 6, 1865, the 13th Amendment came to be. It was adopted as part of the Constitution and abolished slavery. But the important thing about Juneteenth is
all the slaves were finally free.
It is
It is true that the country was divided during the Civil War.
The South wanted slavery, the North wanted unity. But the important thing about Juneteenth is
all the slaves were finally free.
On April 9, 1865, the Confederate Army surrendered, led by General Robert Lee. The good news is that the Civil War ended. But the bad news is that not everyone could celebrate. But the important thing about Juneteenth is
all the slaves were finally free.
On June 19th, General Gordon Granger came to Texas to spread the good news. He told the 250,000 slaves about the president's decree.
In 2021, President Biden made it a holiday for you and me.
But the important thing about Juneteenth is all the slaves were finally free.
In Charles Kelly Elementary School, they were kind enough to give us 2 performances. So we have a performance at this time from Charles Kelly Elementary School.
I've been walking with my face turned to the sun. Weight on my shoulders, a bullet in my gun. Oh, I got eyes in the back of my head, just in case I have to run. I do what I can when I can, while I can for my people. While the clouds roll back and the stars fill the night, that's when I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. Can you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? Gonna keep on keeping on, I can feel it in my bones. Early in the morning, before the sun begins to shine, we're gonna start moving towards that separation nation. And I'll fight with the strength that I got until I die. So I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. Can you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? Gonna keep on keeping on.
Such power and poise. Phenomenal job. At this time, can we have Westbrook Park Elementary School make their way to the stage?
Unique poem by Twinkle. It's hard to be different, to act just like you, to love your uniqueness in whatever you do.
Your hair can be curly or wavy or straight. Your eyes might be different, but that makes you great.
Running or riding, numbers are art. Your friends will all love you for the size of your heart.
But what makes a good friend? Someone who cares, someone who laughs with you, someone who's there.
Someone who helps you when you hurt your knee, or someone to catch you when you fall from a tree.
A friend sees that you are special and loves all of you, from singing to dancing, and you love them too. It's hard to be different, to act just like you, so love your uniqueness, whatever you do.
Garrettford Elementary School.
Who am I? Who am I, or should I say, what have I become? Well, let's take a look at where I came from. I'm a beautiful African American born into a legacy of African American men and women who suffered so much. Yet through it all, we remained in faith seat, not just hoping, but also knowing that one day we will see it through. So if you're thinking it made us strong, then yes, it's true. It is also built within us wisdom and virtue, and now we fly across the open seashore.
Past the oceans we soar, so with our hands we raise. In liberty we stand together in unity to proclaim that we are not a product of our past, but because we are free at last, not just from slavery, but for the right to live, the right to learn, and even the right to display such bravery.
Biowood Elementary School.
Hi, my name is Samai Goodwin, and I will be reading a poem called On Liberty and Slavery by George Mose. Alas, and am I born for this, to wear this slaveless chain, deprived of all created bliss, through hardship, toil, and pain? How long have I in bondage lain, and language to be free? At last, and must I still complain, deprived of liberty? O heaven, and is there no relief, beside the silent grave, to soothe the pain, to quell the grief, and anguish of a slave? Come liberty, though chill first sound, roll my ravish ears. Come, let my grief and joys be drowned, and drive away my fears. Say unto foul oppression, crease he triumphs rage no more, and let the joyful trump of peace now bid the vaseful soar. Soar on the pæans of that dole which long has coded for thee, and breathe her notes from Afric's grove, the sound of liberty. O liberty, through the golden prize, so often sought by blood, we crave thy scared sun to rise, the gift of nature's God. Bid slavery hide her haggard face, and varnish fly. I scorn to see the sad disgrace in which enslaved I lie. Deprive dear liberty upon thy breast, I languish to respire, and like the swan unto her nest, I like to thy smiles retire. O bless Islam, heavenly balm, unto thy thoughts I flee, and in thy shades the storm shall come with songs of liberty.
A musical tells a story with a protagonist who has a central want. This want is important. It launches a plot with dramatic action so that the protagonist can acquire that want. It's not something easy to do. He or she must overcome huge obstacles and get stronger, braver, etc. to try to get it. They either overcome or they don't at the end. The #1 rule of playwriting is show, don't tell. The big no-no is excessive exposition or telling. Because rap is spoken, you can set up the word in a single song that is an elegant solution to the exposition problem. A brilliant example of this is the opening song to Alexander Hamilton. Another point in a musical where a rap song is the perfect style selection is when the protagonist confronts obstacles. The protagonist confronts someone or something that keeps him or her from getting what they want. A rap battle is an ideal way to handle this. Again, looking at Hamilton, Cabinet Battle #1 is a great example of a conflict song. Finally, there are musical numbers that act as the resolution of the story. They drive home the playwright's point. At the end, there is no new information to be conveyed, but rather, what is needed is an emotional underscoring of the message the audience already is aware of. It sets a mood which can be happy, like You Can't Stop the Beat from Hairspray, or reflective, like Who Lives, Who Dies, Who Tells Your Story in Hamilton.
right, give it up for Primus Elementary School with our Hamilton medley. Woo! All right. So as they leave off, we're just going to give a little brief review of what we've done today. So we've had a chance to explore through jazz, through vocals, through spirituals. We've dived into poetry. Now we're going to do a chance to dive into oration. So the next individual that's going to come up is going to express a little bit of what oratorical is. So if you would give a round of applause for Jasmine Berg representing Upper Darby High School. Give her a round of applause.
I'm going to be sharing an essay I wrote called The Voices of Those Who Contributed. Much of Black history and culture is being erased today, and many important Black people who contributed to the progression of civil rights and promoted Black culture have been overshadowed by figures considered to be more important, such as Martin Luther King Jr. or Rosa Parks. Although these figures are important in American history, it is also important to acknowledge the less common Black people who allowed many Black U.S. citizens to obtain freedom. The education system tries to appeal to the viewpoints of many. Many Black students have heard repeated stories about a very specific past people or subjects, and learning about them could be seen as arbitrary by some. The story of Martin Luther King or even Rosa Parks is important to learn as a basis for the bigotry and discrimination that the Black community has faced. But the truth of slavery and prejudice should be an in-depth topic that lists the many brutal aspects as well as the many undervalued people that help contribute towards the progression of civil rights. One of these people was Bayard Rustin, who was a visionary leader and a passionate activist whose contributions to the civil rights movement drastically changed history from the sidelines. Bayard Rustin was born here in Westchester, Pennsylvania in the year of 1912. He attended Wilberforce University, which was a historically Black college, where he became interested in political activism. He later moved to New York and became involved in leftist politics. He began to work directly under Martin Luther King, helping as his advisor. One of his most noteworthy contributions was being the main organizer of the March on Washington movement in 1941. This was to end racial discrimination in the workplace. Rustin was responsible for most of the coordination involving the movement, such as supervising most of the speakers and performers who attended. Because he was advisor to Martin Luther King Jr., he played a critical role in organizing King's nonviolent activist approach. Rustin had also studied nonviolent approaches in India and was organizing training sessions for civil rights activists on the philosophy of nonviolence. Finally, he organized the Montgomery bus boycott in 1955, which, as many know, was a major turning point in civil rights history. Nevertheless, despite fighting for civil rights, he ultimately faced discrimination for all aspects of his identity and judgment from his peers. He was emancipated for not agreeing to the societal norms that were present during that time. Despite this, he continued to put effort in the civil rights movement and eventually died in 1987. Daisy Bates was an African-American journalist and a passionate activist during the civil rights movement. Her work as president of the Arkansas's NAACP and her diligent leadership in the Little Rock Nine made her play a crucial role in promoting civil rights in America. Daisy Bates grew up in a poverty-stricken area of Huddig, Arkansas in 1914. Despite her early life conditions, she became a journalist and worked for Black newspapers, such as the Arkansas State Press. In 1952, Bates became president of the Arkansas NAACP. As president, she fought for the right to vote for African Americans. Police brutality was also one of her driving motives, and she worked to fight towards injustices faced by Black people. Bates was extraordinary in her role in the Little Rock Nine, which is a group of 9 Black students who were chosen to integrate Central High School in Little Rock, Arkansas in the year of 1957. She played a key role in supporting many of the students and providing their families with protection and reassurance. Bates' leadership qualities become a representative role for civil rights activism across the country. Later on in life, she became a member of the Southern Regional Council and the Women's International League for Peace and Freedom. By doing so, she worked closely with Martin Luther King Jr. and under other members of the movement. Bayard Rutson and Daisy Bates are just a few examples of people that are rarely mentioned when it comes to the advancement of civil rights in Black history. It is important to know the general moments in history, but by going into detail, it can open the viewpoints of many people and allow the experiences of a certain community to be acknowledged. It is important to educate yourself and others on the history of an oppressed community to continue a culturally progressive society. Despite all the gruesome instances in Black history, Black people today still have a closely connected community that introduces uniqueness, creativity, and culture into many of the popular trends in society presently. As a community, we go stronger when we face the past, change the present, and look forward to a brighter future. Thank you.
At this time, we'll have Amira Pare make her way to the stage.
There's a light in the darkness, though the night is black as my skin. There's a light burning bright, and it's showing me the way. But I know I've been. There's a cry in the distance. It's a voice that comes from deep within. There's a cry asking why. I pray the answers up ahead, 'cause I know where I've been. There's a road we've been traveling. We lost so many on the way, but the riches will be plenty, worth the price we had to pay. There's a dream in the future. There's a struggle that we have yet to win. And there's pride in my heart, 'cause I know where I'm going. Yes, I do. And I know where I've been. There's a road we must travel. There's a promise we must make. But the riches will be worth the risk and the chances that we take. There's a dream in the future. There's a struggle that we have yet to win. That pride in our hearts to lift us up till tomorrow. 'Cause just to sit still would be our sin. Where I've been.
Thank you so much, Amira. That was beautiful. Your voice is amazing. We're going to have the jazz band take it away at this time, and then Mrs. Umberry and Miss Applegate will help with the awards up next.
Mr. Geist. Mr. Geist, Mr. Geist. All I gotta say is hashtag meter change. Come on, meter change. That's what I'm talking about. I had to nerd out and be a musician real quick. Wonderful job, Royal Blues. Wonderful job. All right, at this time, we're gonna ask for the teachers to come up and we're gonna help do the awards at this time. All right, thank you so much.
It's my honor to present this year's Opportunity, Unity, and Excellence Awards. Building leadership teams in each of our 14 schools selected students that will now be recognized for their impact on their school and local community. Today's student award recipients will be recognized for utilizing their critical thinking and communication skills to empower themselves and others to pursue excellence. The following students have demonstrated their ability to impact the ever-changing world while demonstrating integrity and confidence. I apologize in advance, students, if I mispronounce your names, but when you hear your name called, please make your way to the front. To all of the winners today, please continue to change the world. It starts right here in our schools each and every day. But we know you have the ability to make real change in your communities and make it a positive place for all. At this time, can I have Prior Rice from Aronimink Elementary School? Josue Uzibo from Bywood Elementary School. Josue. Khadijatu Dope from Charles Kelly Elementary School. Samuel Emba from Garrettford Elementary School. Sabria Kroom from Highland Park Elementary School. Zion Bowser from Hillcrest Elementary School. Caleb Lockhart from the Kindergarten Center. Alexandra Harper from Primus Elementary School. Gabriella Odia from Senko Elementary School. Elijah James from Stonehurst Hills Elementary School. Anthony Morrison from Westbrook Park Elementary School. Carly Wakefield from Beverly Hills Middle School. Christina Regina from Drexel Hills Middle School. Now the Upper Darby High School has 3 recipients. Can Bolawatife McKenna come up to the stage? Rachel Fitzpatrick. And Abrar Leskar. Congratulations to each of you. You can make your way down the steps.
So before Highland Park go ahead and closes us out, on behalf of Ms. Simpson and I, we would like to thank you for coming and taking part in Upper Darby School District's 2nd annual Juneteenth celebration. Now this song I picked for a specific reason. We're gonna live every moment and every second from this point out like it's golden. We're gonna take our freedom, we're gonna wear it on our neck, and live our life like it's golden. Peace and love to each and every one of you. And Highland Park, take it away.
tough act to follow there, closing that out from Highland Park. We just want to say on behalf of the Upper Darby School District, on June 19th, make it a point to celebrate freedom in our community and all throughout the United States of America. As young people, it's important you carry this tradition forward. Understand that history comes from the people. Freedom comes from the people. We should never take that for granted. Thank you to Mr. Lashley, Ms. Simpson, Dr. Council, for everything that you do for our school board, for making this day very important, and most importantly to the students and to the staff of the Upper Darby School District. Thank you for teaching everybody what it means to be American and what it means to have freedom in the United States of America. Thank you.